online teaching platform. We are still finding solutions to 2025 WASSCE question, that is core mathematics or general mathematics. We have our third problem here. Abina builds a rainwater collection system in a shape of a hemispherical tank of radius 2 meters to irrigate a 500 square meter farm. Each square meter of the farm requires 50 liters of water. Determine with a mathematical statement if a full tank of water would be sufficient to irrigate the farm. Alright, so here we have a farm. Alright, we have a farm, and the area of the farm is 500 square meter. And you will want to irrigate, Abina want to irrigate the farm with the water in the hemispherical tank. So for you to determine whether the water will be sufficient to irrigate the farm, you have to first determine the volume of the water in that particular tank. Alright. So since the shape of the tank is hemispherical, it implies that we are going to apply the formula for finding volume of a hemisphere to determine the volume of the tank that will be used to store the rainwater. Alright. So let us start work. So we have our tank, which is the hemisphere. So our hemispherical tank. All right. And let us determine the amount of water that it can hold. So the volume of a hemisphere, that's what we are going to do. So volume of a hemisphere is half of the volume of a sphere. All right. So we know that half of the volume of a sphere will give us the volume of a hemisphere, because half of a sphere is called a hemisphere. So half of the formula for finding volume of a sphere, which is 4 out of 3, then we have pi r cube. So this is the formula. So since we are to determine the volume of a hemisphere is half of the volume of a sphere, so that will give us 2/3 pi r cube. So this is the formula that we'll be using to find the volume of the hemispherical tank. Right? We are given pi to be 22 out of 7, and our radius, the radius of the tank is 2 meters. The radius of the tank is 2 meters. All right. So by substitution, we are going to get our volume will be equal to 2/3 of 22 out of 7 of times the radius, which is 2 exponent what? 3. All right. So here we are going to get our volume to be 2 out of 3 times 22 out of 7, then times 8. All right. And our volume will be 2 times 22 times 8 divided by 3 times 7. This 8 is the same as 8 divided by 1. So we multiply the numerators. When you are done, then you also multiply the denominators. All right. So the volume of the hemisphere, let us work on the numerator. It's going to be 2 times 22 give us 44. I think, yes, that's 44. Then times 8, we are getting 352, all divided by 21. 3 times 7 will give us 21. So when you simplify, we are going to get a result of, we are getting the volume as 16 point. So the volume of the water in the hemisphere is 16.7 0.76 meters cube. So this is the volume or cubic meter. The volume of the water in the tank, in the hemispherical tank, is 16.76 cubic meter. Alright. Now, it is stated that each square meter of the farm requires 50 liters of what? Water. Right. So we need to convert the 50 liters to cubic meter. Yes, because we have all the dimensions in meter. So we have to now convert the 50 liters to cubic meter. All right. Now we know that 1,000 liters is equal to 1 cubic meter. So that is m exponent 3. All right. So if you have 50 liters, what do you think it will be equivalent to in terms of cubic meter? So we put xy, so we just need to cross multiply. So we are going to get 1,000 liters of x equal to the year to be 500, sorry, 50 multiplying 1 give us 50 liters, then meters what? Cube. All right. So what do? We divide, we are making x the subject, so we divide through by 1,000 liters. All right. Here 2 by 1,000 liters. So the L cancel this. Here we cancel. We have x equal to. So let us now work on this. Here we are going to get 0.05 meters cube or cubic meter. You can equally verify with your calculator since you are permitted to use calculator. All right. So it implies that each 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 square each square meter each square meter requires 0.05 cubic meter of what? Water. It is given as 50 liters of water, but I've converted it to cubic meter because since we have all the dimensions in meter. All right. So each square meter requires 0.05 cubic meter of what? Water to irrigate it. So knowing the volume of water in the tank as 16.76 cubic meter, let us identify the number of times that you will be getting 0.05 cubic meter in that particular volume of what? Water. Since the reason why we are doing this is that you should know that 500, the area of the farm is what? 500. Okay, is 500 square meter, and they are saying that each square meter, okay, each square meter requires what? 0.05 meters cube of water. Okay, so let us see what we are going to get. So it implies that 1 square meter requires 0.05 what? Cubic meter of water. All right, then we have another one. So we want to know the amount of water that the 500 square meter of water will also require. So we have 500 square meter requires. So we don't know the volume of water that we need to get in order to irrigate the farm that has an area of what? 500 square meter. So that's what we are going to do now. All right. So what do we do? Cross multiply. All right. So here we are going to get, so you can put y here. So it's going to be 1 times y meters square. Okay. So we are going to get y meters squared. All right. Equal to then this times this. All right. So we are going to get 0.05 times 500. that will give us 25. All right, so we have 25 over here. So 25, then we have m exponent 5. All right, because m squared multiply m exponent 3 will give us, since we are multiplying, we apply the product rule of indices. So we are going to add the power. So this one will be power 5. All right, good. So what do? Divide through by the coefficient of y. So which is m squared, here to m squared. So we are going to get y to be equal to 25. So here, since we are dividing, we are going to get 5 minus 2. So then we maintain one of these. So 5 minus 2 give us exponent 3. So it means the farm requires 25 cubic meter of what? Water. But when you look at the volume of the water that we got here, this volume, it's not up to the 25 cubic meter of what? Water. So we say that, we conclude that the water will not be what? Sufficient. The water will not be sufficient to irrigate the farm. All right. Since the water that 50 square meter of the land requires is 25 cubic meter. But when you look at the volume of the tank, it is just 16.7, sorry, 16.67. Let me verify again. It's 16.76. This is the volume of the hemisphere. Okay, that is the tank. But the water that the 50 square meter of the farm requires is 25 cubic meter, which implies that the water in the tank will not be enough to irrigate the farm. So we conclude that since 25 meters cube is greater than 16.76 meters cube, the water in the tank will not be enough to irrigate the farm. All right. So this is how we go about it. Thank you so much. Bye.